I'm excited.
Why's that?
We have an apparel sponsor, Parry Athletic. Such good gear, and it's incredible. I've been enjoying it.
Bro, George came through, messaged us on the Instagram, said he's been following our program for ages. He's getting stronger and more mobile. And he's got this cool gear company called Parry, and he wants to send us some stuff.
And he told me that his mission was to create the best pair of training shorts ever.
Yeah, he wanted something that he could lift and roll in, and that could accommodate thick, muscular thighs and hips.
And that suits us.
Speaks to us.
Also, what I like is I love the colorful design. It actually looks really cool.
I am the most colorful dude on the mats these days, hands down.
Yeah, you get that kind of expression feel. A lot of other jiu-jitsu gear is kind of a bit boring.
Yeah, it's all like grays and blacks and shit. This stuff is the color and the vibrancy.
It makes you stand out. And I think the thing that I've loved about it is just it feels good. It feels good. It looks good. And you, ladies and gentlemen, can get a discount when you go to checkout. If you go to parryathletics.com, when you go to checkout, put in the code Bulletproof20 and you get 20% off. Oh, yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another Bulletproof for BJJ podcast. We are talking about my book, my concept.
Big author.
JiuGo. Don't know a big author, but it's something I put some time into. This is the bad boy itself right here.
The power of jiu-jitsu.
The power of jiu-jitsu. It's the first jiu-jitsu superhero.
Who'd you write this book for?
I wrote this book for kind of 10-year-olds, if I think of like 10-year-old me.
Yep.
Because it's the story of a bullied kid, and he is able to kind of, he's able to learn jiu-jitsu because he's a super nerd, and then he's able to beat the bully with jiu-jitsu. That's the premise of the first book.
Mad.
It's the jiu-jitsu karate kid, if you will. Now, when I originally, I started writing it back. I started drafting it in 2019, and then 2020 hit, and I was like, well, if there's ever a reason to just stay inside and do nothing for lockdown, this is an excuse to write the book.
Yeah.
So in between moving furniture, I was writing like, I don't know, a couple hours a day, just pen and paper, scrolling it out. Got to the end of the year, kind of had a manuscript, went through the hunt of like...
You do it all manual to begin?
I do. Every draft is manual, and then I type it up.
Yeah.
Which sounds a bit labor intensive, but it's better for me.
Do you write in all capitals all the time?
No, I don't. That's just for notes.
I'm like, fuck me, bro. That takes a
slow,
long time.
Slow. Just with my 20 mil marker, just fucking graffiti hands. I was just punching through bloody phone books. No. It takes ages, guys. I'm just putting it out there because a lot of people, it's so funny. I've had people come up to me and be like, oh man, how's your book going? But they're not interested in the book. They're like, I always wanted to write a book. How do you go about that stuff? And there's a bunch of stuff that goes around it. But really for me, I love the Karate Kid, and I wish there was like a Jiu-Jitsu Karate Kid.
Yeah.
Same thing when I made the card game. I was like, how come no one's made a Jiu-Jitsu card game? Like, because it's fucking hard. It's not an easy thing. It seems like a logical idea, but it's just not that easy to do. And when I finally was able to get an editor, she's like, nah, this is too long. 10-year-olds are not going to read a 300-page book. And I was like, fair. That's fair enough. So she said...
Turned into like Dune.
Yeah. three-part series. Yeah, so I broke it up into 2. I'm really stoked that I did because... I've been able to work a lot on the second book.
So that's book 1.
That's book 1.
Mad.
Book 2 is coming out this year, which is JiuGo, The Shadow of Nero.
Oh,
what's going on there?
Sick.
The thing is, Marcus, who is the bully in the first book, he's been kept back in the 6th grade 3 times. He's 14. He's a man-child. Does boxing. He always punches the hell out of JiuGo.
Yeah.
There's a reason why he's a really bad kid.
Marcus
Caesar Vieira. He gets... Yeah. So we've got Nero Caesar Vieira and Marcus Caesar Vieira. His dad beats him. His dad's a bad guy. He's the real villain.
Nero is his dad.
Yeah, Nero's his father. And he owns the big factory in the town where they live.
What's it make?
They make all kinds of stuff. They make medical supplies, hospital beds.
Okay.
They're starting to get into some other stuff.
Oh, shit. Okay.
So I'm not going to reveal what happens there. But Nero is the true villain.
Right.
And this is kind of starts to be revealed in the second book. And this is the interesting part. Marcus starts to do jiu-jitsu.
All right.
And he starts to become like a better kid. Now, he actually just starts jiu-jitsu because he wants to bash JiuGo. JiuGo beats him in a fight in the first book, and he's like, fuck this kid. I'm going to beat this kid. He's like, I'm going to learn jiu-jitsu. I'm huge. I'm going to smash him. But he sucks. He's not that smart. And he struggles to learn, and he's just like, oh, jiu-jitsu is so frustrating. But he actually does become a better kid over time. There's some new characters introduced in the second book. You get a bit more of JiuGo's sisters. He has 2 twin older sisters.
I bet he does.
Oh, yeah.
What do they get up to?
Oh, they're rebels. They skate. They got a punk band, like a grunge band.
How rebellious.
They smoke. Yeah, they drink. They do whatever the fuck they want.
JT's like, don't you fucking disrespect my narrative like that, bro.
No,
I wrote
cool.
this shit.
No, they're cool. They're cool. They're cool characters. I rate them. They're good characters. Because JiuGo's so straight and nerdy and you know not that interesting in a lot of ways. Other than he's very smart.
You have 2 older sisters, don't you?
I have 2 younger sisters.
Sorry, 2 younger sisters.
Yeah, but they are reflective.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
So a lot of there's elements of your personal life.
Plenty
journey.
of my life in there. Yeah. But then also the thing is, I look at.
I can't wait till book 28 when podcast fucking Joey shows up.
I'm not sure. We'll have to feature you later on. But there is a vision here, right? Because he's in primary school. So I have already drafted the first book of the high school series.
Mad.
Because it's set in 91. So
Right.
that's the thing. It's an early 90s throwback. And yeah, I actually like that era. I think early 90s is underrated. Everyone talks shit about the 80s.
We all love that. People of our age love that era.
Yeah, for sure. But I think that there's a lot in there
Yeah.
pre-internet. I think for a lot of you out there, we can't even remember a time when we didn't have a smartphone or the internet.
Yeah.
So
But we can.
we can. And there's something to the analog age of like having to read a fucking map.
Oh, yeah.
Not knowing when a motherfucker's going to show up because you cannot text them. Either you're there or you're not, or it's a fucking mystery. So, yeah, the second book, JiuGo, some very serious incident occurs and JiuGo gets powers.
Oh.
So I'm not going to go too heavy into that.
He drinks the sacred acai shake.
Not quite. It just turns into Gordon Ryan.
Top game.
But
That's
yeah.
mad. That
So-
sounds really exciting.
yes, I've been able to get basically second book is done.
Yeah.
It's with the publishers now, and I'm just working on the cover art.
Okay. Did you design the cover art for the first book?
Yes.
Mad.
So on the front is JiuGo, and on the back is Marcus, and on the side is a little Fibs. It also features a 3-eyed enlightened frog,
Naturally.
and he's also he's best friends with the Son of Death. But like we just leave that to the side. You have to get the book to find out what's going on with that shit. But I'm also going to work on next year. The big effort is in the first issue of the comic.
Yeah.
And the goal is to go to Japan, try and find some poor, overworked, underpaid anime artists
Oh, wow.
and do the pilot for the animation.
Holy shit.
That's the big dream.
The pilot for the animation being a cartoon.
Yes.
So you want to have a comic and a cartoon.
Yeah, the comic will form as the storyline frames for
Okay.
the animation.
Wow, bro.
So once the books are done, I can kind of just leave that as it is and then go to work on the next big creative project for next year.
Where's something that I've become aware of in only recent years is these graphic novels.
Yes.
Is that something you've looked at, or are you
Yep.
like, no, I don't?
Yeah, for sure.
Because that's
Like-
kind of a middle ground between a book and a comic, isn't
Well,
it?
no, I think that's where it would go toward. But
Right.
it's just a lot more work because you got to make the artworks better, basically.
Yeah.
But that's cool. I'm for that.
Amazing.
So yeah, it's just working on that. And I guess the thing for me is like when I was a kid, Ninja Turtles was a big deal.
Yeah. The first VHS I ever owned.
Right, yeah, as you mentioned.
Yeah.
And yeah, you know, I've watched that 100 times or more. And the thing about it is, it's weird because it's such a weird concept, but it inspired me to do martial arts. It's like, whoa, these guys, they're mad, they're cool, they're funny. I would love to inspire a generation of kids to do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu through JiuGo.
Yeah.
So some kids at school and they find this book in the library and they're like, yo, this is kind of funny. It's a bit quirky. I wonder what that means. I wonder what that is. And there's a bunch of stuff about the Jiu-Jitsu journey.
Yeah.
Like JiuGo gets choked unconscious his first class because he doesn't tap.
Right.
He doesn't get it. And that's the thing. Like, you know, I feel like there's nothing out there that really talks about the Jiu-Jitsu experience. And I'd love to have. So one of my favorite anime is One Punch Man. You know, you got to, you know, it's always just montages of him boxing and stuff, but it's like run 10Ks every day, 100 push-ups every day, 100 sit-ups every day. Anyway, eventually he becomes like a superhero from this formula, and he like loses his hair, he goes bald, but he has the power to defeat anyone with one punch.
Wow.
And it's just funny. Like, it's really old school anime, but yeah, for me, I'm like, we need a jiu-jitsu superhero. And so that's the idea behind it. But when he goes to high school, and this is, keep your eye out for this, that's where he meets all the other fighting styles: boxing, wrestling, fucking kickboxing, judo.
Yeah.
And so there's some really cool style matchups. So if you think about early UFC, you had guys who were probably good at one thing.
Yeah.
Which it's like, oh, who's going to win, the striker or the wrestler? Or so.
Shout out to Art Jimison.
Yeah, right.
The boxer who showed up with one glove
One
on.
glove.
Yeah. Fought Hoist Gracie.
So good. Just the one glove. It's some gladiator shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's the idea behind all of it. So next year, the number one project, like my goal this year was to get book 2 out. The goal next year, and it shouldn't be far off. Comic is the prelim, but really work hard to try and get a 3 to 5 minute pilot of JiuGo the show.
Fucking cool, man.
Yeah, so
I'd be super excited to see that come to life on the screen.
Yeah, well, it's just one of those things, man, because it's like anime for everything.
Yeah.
And actually, the thing which blew my mind is, and for some of you out there, it's not a surprise, Attack on Titan. It's in its like final, like it's like 9 seasons or 10 seasons.
What's that?
It's an anime about monsters and a town and hero. Like, it's always like heroes.
When you say
smashing
anime, are
monsters.
you referring to Japanese
Yeah,
cartoon?
Japanese, yeah.
Yeah, okay, sick.
It's
Like
the-
manga.
Yeah.
Is it all manga or not? What is manga?
So manga is the comic book, like it's the black. A manga cut is like the artist who does and anime is animation.
I see, okay.
And sometimes they're different. Like, so they'll do an anime adaptation of the manga and it won't be true to it.
Right.
And fans of the manga will be like, that's fucked up, man.
Not what it was.
Like, it doesn't, yeah. And
Yeah,
so,
right.
you know, and there's some really hardcore devoted fans of whatever it is, you know, whatever the manga is. But with the anime, Attack on Titan is the most viewed show in the world.
Wow.
Like, over everything. More views than Game of Thrones finale. Like,
Yeah,
it's
right.
in its final season, this particular thing, and it was like 100 million. I was like, what the fuck? So it's
Well,
really...
that's what they spent on it.
No, 100 million views.
Oh, views, right.
Like the first ep when it dropped. And no, it's just interesting to me, man. Like, I've always wanted to go an excuse to go to Japan anyway.
Yeah.
And it's like, it'd be really cool to be able to hang out there, but then also try and create something like a genuine art project, which has skills way bigger than mine, and then make something that jiu-jitsu people will be like, yeah, that's my fucking guy. Or like, that speaks to my experience, you know?
Yeah.
Because I look at a lot of kids' entertainment now. It's like fucking Blippi and fucking Cocomelon and
Blippi.
fuck
My
that.
boy
You know,
loves Blippi.
yeah, of course, right? You got kids.
So much to talk about. Make you wanna shout. I fucking Joel Costello, shout out to it. Another black belt got me onto Blippi. He's like, you watch Blippi, man? I watched that shit with my nephew. I'm like, no, what's Blippi? And the first time I put it on, I was like, bro, this is fucked. I'm like, Leo, you're not watching this anymore. Now he watches it all the time.
Yeah. But I just think about my friends who have kids who've got like 5 and 6 year olds.
Yeah, there's not a lot of quality stuff out there.
No, it would be pretty cool if there was something with like a martial arts message.
Yeah.
Like nice narratives. And also, if you're an adult, you're like, I go sit down and watch this with my 6 year old. Cool fight scene. You're like, oh, blast double. Oh, he just suplexed that guy.
Yeah.
You know, like that. I feel like that could be really cool. So that's something, that's where it's gone.
Do you reckon if you, in the animation,
Yes.
would you ever have like cameo appearances
Yes.
from like
Yes.
actual grapplers?
Yes.
Like Theon Davies is in an episode,
Yeah.
or like Dante Leon's in an
Yeah,
episode.
100%.
That would be so cool.
Yeah, I think you're going to see jiu-jitsu culture flat out. Definitely. And the thing is, JiuGo's jiu-jitsu instructor is based on Michelle Nicolini.
Okay, right on.
Yeah, so she's in there, and I'm just working out. So Empire City is the big city where he has to go to high school. I'm just working out that whole shit right now.
Man.
Like capoeira schools and dojo storms and mafia and all kinds of shit.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, bro,
So
you got a brain for it. I can't even
it's my
even
ADHD.
begin to
Just,
construct a fucking world like that.
it's just fucking in overdrive. But no, it's a bit of work in it. But no, it's cool. Like I had super positive responses. Like even so, Paulie's son, he's read it like 4 or 5 times. He's hit me
Yep.
up with questions like, "What happened to Marcus's mum?" You know, I'm like, "Oh, bro, I can't tell you that. Like, you find out later." It's like, why is this guy so bad? I'm like, dude, just pause. It's cool because kids, they follow it through to its extrapolation. They're like, well, where's the answers?
Yeah.
You left me hanging.
Yeah.
It's coming. So yeah, man, it's just, I wanted to just do this because this is something, like I said, I've been working on it since 2019. And
Hattie still cherishes her copy. I don't know if she's read it.
she probably not.
She just cherishes it, and she cherishes the shirt. She calls it her jiu-jitsu shirt.
Oh, cool. That's really nice.
Yeah.
That's really nice. Well, yeah, like I said,
Where do people get their hands on it?
if you want to get a copy of the book, you can get it on Amazon or you can get it on BookBaby, who is my distributor publisher in the States. But if you want to make sure that I can actually see a little bit of that, you can go to JiuGoplay.com. JiuGoplay.com. It doesn't matter if you're in the States or you're here in Australia. We'll get you a copy of the book. We'll sort it out.
Go buy 10 copies and give it to all of your friends' children at the next Christmas party or birthday or whatever.
Well, yeah, book one.
Mad gift for kids.
Yeah, it's just, and you know, it's get kids interested in reading, you know what I mean? I think it's like,
Yeah.
because a lot of the,
Ticks a lot of boxes.
yeah, it's there for that. And
Don't
and,
buy
yeah.
them some fucking plastic toy that means nothing and is going to go to landfill. Get
Yeah.
them something of value.
Yeah, and book 2 will be out in time for Christmas.
Yeah.
All right.